Welcome to Hardwired McLean. This is your boy Brando with Safestreet, an authorized dealer of ADT and owner and operator of Advantage View Solutions. In this episode, I'm going to walk you through how to install 5 exterior cameras, 1 down the driveway, 1 on each side, and 2 in the back. Let's go over the features of a Google exterior camera. The camera provides 24/7 60-day recording, two-way talk, night vision, emergency calling, and face realization. First, we're going to start by entering the attic and making sure that we have a clear unobstruction entry point through the soffits where we'll be drilling our through holes. Nothing's going to get in the way up here. I'll also be sharing tips and tricks throughout this episode, which brings us to our first tip. When we're making an entry point through the soffit into the attic, we want to make it 2 to 3 feet down from the corner of the house. And this is to avoid any truss complications where the trusses come together. We also want to make sure we have good Wi-Fi signal at the camera's location. Go to your web browser and type in test my internet speed. Hit run speed test. This will tell you what our numbers are. Now, our download speed should be 100 and our upload speed should be about 25. Our numbers look even better than that, so we know that's going to work good in that location. It doesn't hurt to check each camera location before installing. Now we're ready to drill our through hole into the attic. Drill into the soffit and use our bit to check for any obstructions. Run our 2-wire through the end of our glow rod and go ahead and wrap it around itself real good so it doesn't come undone. We want it nice and secure for when we shove it in through the through hole. Now we'll go ahead and do so. Shove it up in the through hole. Now we have 2 glow rods connected here, and that way we got 7 feet to work with. So we want to make it as easy as possible to find and retrieve. Now we're going to utilize our retrieving tool, which is another glow rod with a hook on it. So we're going to go ahead and enter up in the attic, and using this hook, we won't have to reach as far and be as least covered in insulation as humanly possible. Using our little hook tool, we're just going to reach out and grab that glow rod with the line on it and pull it right to us, like so. FYI, this is the hot July of Florida. This attic is like 140 degrees. All right, now we're pulling our line over to where we're going to be powering it. We're just going to tie it off for the time being. I don't usually energize them until I have the camera installed. Let's go ahead and freeze frame here. You can see we're going to be powering the camera with this power strip, which is ran to this light fixture. More details on that in a bit. We'll run the excess line through the center of our mounting plate and finish mounting our mounting plate on. Let's get our beanies ready. We're stripping our wire and endings and getting it ready to splice with our camera wire. We're twisting the red wire together with the red wire and the black wire with the black wire and applying our beanies and clamping them down. If you have excess wire still at the end of those, you can also just clip those endings off to make it easier to put the beanie on. Here's the steps in order. 2 wires, bound them together, clip the end, and then put the beanie on and clamp it down at the beginning, middle, and end of the beanie. The green light does verify the camera is energized. Now we're just going to squeeze the rest of the excess line up and into the attic, leaving out 6 inches for the camera to move freely and for it to fasten it down to the base by turning it clockwise and pushing up. You'll feel it lock into place. Now we'll plug our step-down transformers into the surge protector with the red to positive and the black to negative. And you can see I have the surge protector plugged into an adapter that's plugged into another adapter that houses the light bulb. Let's zoom up a little bit. You get a better look of how this is connected. You see I have a drawstring, so when we pull it, they can activate this switch just by pulling this on and off. Right, we get in their light. And then over here, my 3-step down transformers, the back patio, east gate, and back gate. Now we're repeating these steps for all 5 cameras. Easy peasy. I'll get a zip tie on this. Tighten this up a little bit. That looks a lot better. Nice and tight. Here's the back patio camera, and you can see it covers the back door, the pool, and the screen door over here coming into the pool. Here's the east gate camera, covering, well, the east gate. Here's the back gate camera, covering what the back patio camera misses and covers the rest of the backyard, that back gate, and the fur shed. Now I powered the last 2 cameras from the outlet inside the garage to power the west gate and the driveway. I had a 6-way adapter, so I also had room to plug in the garage door opener. And of course that leaves the customer a couple other plug-ins in case they need them in the future. You might be wondering, well, Brando, why didn't you just hook up a much larger power strip to the garage opener bracket and run everything to that? You guessed it, another tip. One outlet can handle 4 to 5 cameras comfortably. Any more than that can pull too much juice and cause the breaker to flip. I once installed 7 cameras at a job where I connected 2 power strips together to make it happen, powering both surge protectors from a single outlet. Now, everything was fine during the install and shortly after I left, but as soon as I left, the breaker began to flip and the customer was losing power to those cameras. Naturally, this created a service call and I had to return to fix the issue. Here we have the driveway camera position, and it's angled in a way that covers the whole front yard. And lastly, we have the west gate covering, well, the west gate. Now, I covered a few tips and tricks inside this episode, but in the near future, I'm going to do an episode that's just dedicated to nothing but tips and tricks. So stay tuned for that. Now, I want to show you how to program the cameras. Let's locate our Google Home and go ahead and open the app. At the top right corner, you hit the plus symbol, and we'll go to device. Now let's say scan QR code. Then we'll go ahead and flip our device over and scan the QR code. If you don't have the QR code, instead hit the plus symbol, select add device, select search for device, confirm our home. Once our search is complete, we're going to select the one that matches our device. You can verify this by checking the last 4 digits of the serial number on the device. Once confirmed, select the device and hit next. Now it's time to enter our 6-digit setup code that can be found below the serial number on the device. Hit next and then next. Choose our home. If you're dealing with multiple cameras, match them up by the code that's on them. Device. We're going to hit next and agree to the terms and conditions, the user guidelines, and the privacy guidelines. Ooh, yes, I'm in. We'll go ahead and connect to Wi-Fi. Select our Wi-Fi and hit next. Insert password and hit connect. Hit next, and now we're going to name our device. Either choose from the list provided, or you can hit custom and put in your own. We're going to go ahead and put in a custom. Now we must wait for it to download some updates. See, we got the green light. We're skipping through the installation guide. Select indoor outlet and hit next. Next. Keep hitting next until we get to video history. Once there, toggle video on and hit next. Then we want both microphone and audio selected, then hit next. Select familiar face, then select our camera, then hit next. Verify our camera is being monitored by ADT, then hit next. No, thank you. Once the camera finishes this process, it'll be programmed and viewable through your Google Home. If you're interested in a camera that has a solar panel and less fluffery, check out my episode on how to install the Eufy E130 solar powered camera. Hit like and subscribe for more videos like this. And if you're interested in home security, feel free to reach out to me for a quote or for more information. Our services are available all over America.